He always had it. I was surprised.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to the March 19th meeting of the Human Services Committee meeting. Called to order at 10:31 a.m. I'd like to bring to the floor the approval of the minutes from the prior committee meeting. Supervisor Strainer and Supervisor Bruno on the second. All in favor of approval? Thank you. Privilege to the floor. Anyone from the public, any other supervisors have any comments on Veteran Services, Youth Bureau, or Department of Social Services? Hearing nothing, we will move on to the agenda. We have Denise DeResta, the Director of Veteran Services, with us first. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning.
I see one action agenda item. If you would like to walk us through request number one.
I do believe at this time that action has been taken off the agenda.
I wasn't
It was
notified
not
of that, but
needed.
okay. Is that correct? Okay, all right, okay.
Yes.
So, and we'll,
Would you like to move on to just updates?
yeah, please. I see that we have an annual report and anything else that you'd like to add.
Sure. So since the last time I reported, I just like to give you an overview of different things within the community. Either we're attending an event that we were invited to, or the several meetings that we meet with other community members, stakeholders within the veteran community to help assist with their care, housing, healthcare needs, that kind of thing. So I don't usually go through the whole list, but if anybody had any questions regarding just the department updates, I would take those. I did also want to welcome Tim Nolan, who came on, I believe it was February 12th, hired as a new part-time driver. And he just started his first runs solo this week. So
Great.
everything seems to be going good, and he likes the job. So
We also appreciate the emails that you send us about, events and activities related to veterans, as well as the peer-to-peer program. So thank you very much. So no additional questions or comments for Denise? Thank you very much.
oh, I'm
Oh, yes,
sorry.
go ahead.
We're just going to go on to the next
All right.
other updates regarding
Okay, right,
the-
yeah, I'm
Okay,
sorry. Go
sorry.
ahead.
The claims report, and Supervisor Thomas, I wanted to clarify something with you. Last committee meeting, you asked me about the column under retro on the claims report. And I wanted to make sure I said it appropriately. So the claims, the retro section of the claims report, that is a separate additional dollar amount on top of the new amounts that are listed there. Yes, it is additional. I don't know if I said it appropriately at the last committee meeting, and I wanted to make sure to clarify that with you. So the new amounts under that column there, new amount, that is the new amount that has been awarded by the VA to the individual veterans regarding the disabilities that they have incurred while serving. And the retro amount is either an appeal came in for an approved disability, or they retro the effective date back a couple of years. So that is additional to the new amount that's coming into the county for veterans living here. So I just wanted to make sure and clarify that. Does anybody have any questions regarding the claims report? I will now move on to the OFA Veteran Services Senior Veterans Local Transportation Program. Most of the data under here, you can see, I just was giving you an idea of the locations that we go to, the number of passengers that have gone between March 1st and March 8th, and what kind of locations they're looking to go to. Okay, and underneath where, other data, from January 1st to February 13th, we had a total of 3 trips and 16 passengers. As you can see, the number of trips from February 15th to March 8th, they are going up. The number of riders has increased a little bit, but hopefully with the next report, the next time I come to committee, we'll see both of those will have, increased. And, I'm not always, good about where everybody's, what towns and everything. So I did put the schedule down at the bottom. So if you don't already have flyers up in your town halls or whatever, I certainly can get you colored flyers for there or any place else that you believe would be, be helpful, like at a Stewart's, or if you have a grocery store or convenience store or whatever, we can get flyers up and stuff to promote this program. Any questions? If not,
Great, thank you.
thank you.
Next, we'll hear from staff from the Youth Bureau. And I will ask, because we have some new folks in the room, if you could introduce yourselves. Morning, Sue.
Hi, good morning. I'm Sue Maury, the Director of the Youth Bureau, and also the Director of the Youth Bureau and Alternative Sentencing for Washington County. And Warren County contracts with us to provide the Youth Bureau services, which is much of the administrative duties that we'll talk about today. And then this is the Assistant
I'm
Director.
Tony,
Sean
too. I'm the
Peter.
Assistant Director. It's nice to meet everyone.
I do have a couple handouts just in case you highlights of some of the stats for the year. I'll go over that later, and then just an outline of all the funding streams that come funneled through the state and then through the Youth Bureau and then out to recreation programs in your county. It's a little bit, convoluted. I know I have the resolutions here, but I kind of did a 1-page synopsis of those funding streams for everybody. I don't know if I pass those out or. So first on the agenda is we need approval to, for you to approve the resource application plan for the program year October 1, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. And those are the funding streams that are our YDP funding, which are your town and village recreation programs that get funding through YDP, along with 4 community agencies. It's also our youth sports education opportunity funding, which was new from the state. This is the 3rd year of funding. And then new for this year, they also added a $10,000 amount that's youth sports and education opportunity infrastructure dollars. And then, of course, new for this year is youth team sports dollars. So these are all funds that come from the state. The youth board reviews the applications, that the submitted applications, makes a recommendation to move it to the committee, and then we need committee approval to then send in the RAP, the resource allocation plan, and then the state will determine whether all of the programs meet the eligibility, and they'll hopefully approve the RAP. And then we can start the process of contracting with the agencies that are listed in the towns and the village recreation programs and the other agencies that are listed. So that's the process. So I need approval to submit the RAP as.
Request to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Strainer and Supervisor Bruno on the second. Questions or comments? I'll call the question. All in favor of approval of request number 1, say aye.
Hi.
Hi.
Any opposed? So moved. So passed. Resolution request number 2, please, Sue.
So resolution request number 2 is pending state approval, whether you would give us permission to contract with the agencies listed for the youth development program funding. And I was a little unclear. I put them separate only because the youth development program funding, those are the programs that have not changed over the last 3 years or so. So those are still funded at the same amount that they were prior years, and those contracts are not new contracts, they'll be renewal contracts. And then, okay, so that's that resolution,
Okay,
YDP funding.
so again, everything has attachments, good attachments, so bring that to the floor, please. Mr. Strainer and Mr. Bruno on the second. Questions or comments? I'll call the question. All in favor of approval of request number 2, say aye.
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 Any opposed? So moved.
And become- okay.
Request number 3.
Sure. And the request number 3 is to contract with the agencies listed under the Youth Sports and Education Opportunity Funding, which includes the infrastructure funding components. And this is the Youth Sports and Education Funding have completely new agencies that are funded this year compared to last year. So it would be new contracts. And then the infrastructure is a completely new funding stream, but with new contracts.
Motion to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Strainer, Supervisor Wild, on the second. Questions or comments? I'll call the question. All in favor of approval of request number 3, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. And number 4, please, Sue.
And the fourth was, we had a request for a couple new people to join the youth board. And one is a youth member, Zachary Fieldstadt, and Ava Larray and Peter Oleski, who is an adult. But we would like those to join our youth board if possible.
Motion to bring that to the floor. Dave and Supervisor Wild on the second. I commend you for including a geographical diverse. I think we've got Stony Creek, Johnsburg, and Warrensburg candidates. So
Yes.
that's a good thing. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you.
And then the 2 new youth, I just wanted to point out, they did have the opportunity to go with us to the Youth Leadership Forum. That was a day in which we go to Albany, they meet with the representatives, they can ask questions, they can promote youth, activities. So it was a great experience for the two youth that are on the youth board, now on the youth board. So it was great. And I will pass out just some highlights of what we've done in 2023. And we're right in the midst of, for 2024, we have a lifeguard class. So if you know any youth that we still have room in our lifeguard class, that's taking place in April. And last year, we had 19 youth go through the 2 classes that we had, and those youth are Warren County youth, and then they support your rec programs that have water-related lifeguarding duties. So it's been it's usually 50-50 between Washington County kids that go through the class and Warren County kids at this point in time. So that's been good to be able to fulfill because it has, a few years ago, it was a real challenge to get lifeguards. So I think we're building our pool of lifeguards, and then every year they're able to come back and get their recertification through us in either of the 2 months. So that was something that's happening now. That in February, we had 8 Warren County youth that go through our class. 2 youth attended Youth Leadership Day. Sheriff's Camp, we've been able to really increase the number of slots. We help the sheriff with facilitating the Sheriff's Camp, and we've increased the number of slots because we're really able to get a lot of kids into Sheriff's Camp. So last year it was 11 youth, and this year we're expecting to at least have 11 youth go, with maybe 2 on the waiting list. And as long as some other county doesn't send youth, we can usually get those extras on too. So then in that way, they give us more slots the next year. So that's a fun event. So those are just a couple of the highlights for the year and what we're working on.
Great. Thank you, Sue.
Future.
Thanks, Sean.
All right,
Um,
thank you.
Excellent reports. And now we will hear, excuse me, from Department of Social Services. Good morning, Nina.
Good morning. Happy first day of spring, everyone. Couple of requests. The first request is to amend the budget to reflect the allocation from OCFS for the Adult Protective Services Grant in the amount of $34,129. The purpose of the grant is to provide resources to enhance or support APS services for vulnerable adults. And this includes staff needs. We identified a shortage of vehicles, and we have we'd like to purchase a vehicle for the APS unit. And the vehicle is an OCFS approved expenditure.
Thank you. Motion to bring that to the floor, please. Supervisor Wild and Supervisor Strainer on the second. Questions or concerns or comments? I do see that the chart showing how much each county receives for both of those sources is included in with your attachments. So I'll call the question. All in favor of approval of request number one, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. On to number two, please.
Number two, personnel request, we'd like to create an intake clerk and delete a social welfare examiner. This request will have some cost savings. However, it's really being made to support the increasing demands of the reception unit with the number of intakes that we're getting. This was an anticipated change due to retirements and the realignment of duties. Every year we look at positions, the needs of each unit. We have some flexibility, so we planned on, as we changed things, being able to delete a position and add a position into another unit.
Bring it to the board.
Supervisor Strainer, thank you. A second.
Get out.
Supervisor Turner, thank you. Questions or comments? If you haven't been to the social services, I guess, waiting room, there's 3 windows and oftentimes they're very busy. So I think it's a good plan, good strategy.
The window is busy, and the phone and the online applications we receive are even busier.
Right,
So,
yeah, so.
all right,
So we got to vote on that.
Sorry.
So we've got it on the floor. All in favor of approval of personnel request number 2, please.
Aye.
Any opposed?
oh, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Why don't we backtrack and could you read number
So to include
Great.
with that, items number 3 are personnel requests to change our organizational structure of the DSS leadership team. I'm looking to, after speaking with several other DSS commissioners and comparing districts of similar size regarding workflow and structure, I'm requesting to create a director of services and then a director of social services public assistance. This will improve our administrative process within the department based on everyone's strengths and expertise in the areas for those individuals that will be put in those positions. In addition, we have a number of anticipated retirements coming in the next few years, and succession planning is crucial. Each director will be designated to sign and appear on my behalf, either by appointment or by in my absence.
So I might have confused us. We're going to combine 3 and 4. So if I can just take a quick time out and if we can vote on number 2.
2.
We did? Oh, I thought we, okay. All right, okay, I'm sorry, okay. So, yeah, we're combining 3 and 4, just so that people know. So if you could just run us through number 4, please.
So 3 and 4 would be adding the directors, deleting the deputy, and deleting case A. And there will be some cost savings with that as well.
Any questions? Comments? Okay. I need to. Okay, so a motion to bring 3 and 4 to the table. Supervisor Wild and Supervisor Strainer on the second. Thank you. Now questions or comments. Okay, so we're voting on resolutions 3 or request number 3 and 4. I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Okay, 3 and 4. Discussion items, Nina?
I just wanted to mention, I sent out the annual report, so if anybody has any questions about that, feel free to reach out. We did also move our office onto the second floor, so feel free to reach out if you'd like to get in and check out DSS. Happy to give anyone a tour, but now we're in a secure area, so it's harder to pop in and out. Also, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month and May is Foster Care Awareness Month. So we'll be sending out some information about events that we have regarding awareness for April and May.
Any other questions for Nina? Good morning, Julie.
Good morning. I did both the revenue and expense report. I wrapped up 2023 because we paid most everything by now, so this gives you a picture of where we're at for the end of 2023, which is close in both revenue and expense. I was sweating it out, but we did it. So
Pretty happy about that.
you have no idea. And then for 2024, we're really right where I would expect to be.
Right.
For the end of February. No concerns.
And from a personnel standpoint, Nina, we're doing well.
We're doing well. We have resignations here and there. We just had one today for someone moving on to the state. We do a great job training our staff and can't help it when they move on to
Yeah.
bigger and better things, but we're doing well with recruitment and we're in retention. So fortunately, we have positions and some flexibility that hopefully we're able to move quickly so other staff don't get overwhelmed with the workload.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
and Nina, I'm just curious about the staff that go to the state. Do they have to relocate or are they still able to stay here?
To live here, they can live here. The state has some, depending on positions, they have a lot of remote work. Some people travel. It depends on how, committed they are to staying. If they have the ability to move, they may consider that, but remote offers a lot of,
They actually
potential.
commute down to Albany? or-
Mhm. Yep.
I've Been there, done that.
Yeah, it's a long drive. We did it, I did it.
Longer drive home, I found working in the
Yes.
capital region.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Public comment from the floor, anyone? I will entertain ask for, bring it to the floor. Supervisor Bruno, do I have a second on motion to, okay? Supervisor Turner, all in favor of adjournment? Great, thank you.